For me, cars are all about the story. I have so much appreciation for the YouTube channels that are authentic, and it's really not about, hey, can I make money on this? How can I make, it's not about that for me. It's so much about the story. The story is so important to me. When the 2017 cars started coming out and you saw YouTubers and celebrities, guys with huge Ford car collections coming out kind of mad at Ford for like, why didn't I get one? There's only so many people who get one. But I was pretty much like, there's no chance I'm going to get one. I've got 30 Fords in my fleet, not 500. I knew of a guy in southeast Oklahoma with a huge oil company, 500 Fords in his fleet. And the dealership I went through to buy mine told me about this guy. He was threatening to sell all of his Fords and go into a different brand. He was just so irate that he didn't get a car. He had other Ford GTs. So I knew that I had to, in this application video, I had to set myself apart. So I made some big promises, and I plan to keep those promises. And one of them is driving the car in all 50 states. I love putting miles on cars. My plan to start is to drive to Car Week this year from Oklahoma. Instead of shipping the car out, I'm going to drive, probably take the southern route and sneak through Nevada up towards California and knock out that part of the country. And then I'll probably leave the car, at a friend's shop up in Seattle after the deal. I'll probably have him drive it up there or to store for a while until I can get back in it. My wife and girls, it's one of the few things that I love more than my cars, but it's going to be hard for me to get away consistently. But the plan is to, like I said in my application video, I want to drive in all 50 states, and I plan to do that. So I want to follow through, with Ford and showcase how great the car really is to drive and experience. And I will say, Ford dealers around the country, those of you that service these, I'm going to need your help. So reach out to me if you can. If I get in the middle of Montana or Minnesota or Idaho or whatever, then I've got to fly back to take care of some business needs or what have you. I need to keep it somewhere, and it might be weeks on end that you need to keep it. So if you're willing to hold this car, or fellow YouTubers, Ed's friends, when I'm out west, Stradman or whatever, like stuff like that. Like, if you're down to store this car and I trust you, be part of the story. I would love for that to be part of the experience. And I need help because I don't want to have to rent a storage unit somewhere and just tuck it away. And I'd do that if I had to, but I don't think that would be as fun as sharing it. So contemplating going back and forth. Should I wash it in between these stints of driving, or should I just let it go all 50 states? I don't know if I'll be able to actually pull that off and not wash the thing, but it would be a cool part to add to the story. So obviously there's some logistical issues with the Ford GT. It's got a small gas tank. It's got zero storage. Schmeeds almost ran his out of gas on more than one occasion. So it's hard to rack up miles, especially in back road highways and such. So, my plan, I've got custom bags being made in the footwell on the passenger side. There's, this much space, about that thick. I'm having a bag made. That's going to be my passenger's luggage compartment. And then I'm going to have behind the engine bay, it's about this big. I'm going to have a bag made custom for that. So I can jam as much underwear and socks and all the stuff that you absolutely need, toiletries in there. As you're sitting, below you between your knees is another small compartment. So I'll utilize that. And then I'm going to have a fuel bag, 3-gallon fuel bag, airplane grade, to where it's not going to leak or release fumes. But I'm going to put that in the front compartment and lay it over all the stuff that's up there. There's no room for baggage up there, but I feel like a 3-gallon bag of fuel will kind of lay over all of that. In case I get in a back road situation and there's no gas station for 50 or 60 miles and I have an emergency. But yeah, logistically, it's just going to be a challenge to get this thing all over the country. This is just me solidifying, kind of creating a story that's, for me, it's of epic proportions to drive all 50 states, In that video, I also said I'd love to ship it over to Europe and drive it in Europe too. I'd love to do that. That's pie in the sky wishful thinking. If time allows, I'd love to. I always regretted on the 50th anniversary Lamborghini put on my dealership that I use, Dallas, being in Oklahoma City, they're the closest dealer, is going to be $9,000 to ship the car round trip. It was totally feasible. It's $16,000 total, I think, with the cost of entry. I've always regretted not sending my 6-speed Gallardo over there. And so that's what inspires me to want to go over there too. But when I get done, look back on all 50 states, especially Alaska, Hawaii, those are such a bigger challenge. Just to look back and it's always when you're in the moment, sometimes it can be a letdown, but it's when you look back, in high school and sports or whatever, it's when you look back and you see what happened and you can recall specific things that happened during the creation is not an event, it's a process. And so I'm just trying to create some epic experiences in cars. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Yeah, so for me, like owning the cars, collecting them is cool, but for me, it's really about the experience and the driving. I love putting miles on cars. I'm all about quality over quantity. I don't want 50 cars. I want the best car that I can buy, and I'm going to experience it every day. I'm fortunate that I've got a great management team. They meet with clients, etc., and I get to drive these things all the time. Like I said, daily drive a 765 LT. I put 33,000 miles on the 720 McLaren in less than 3 years. So it's hard for me to grasp why someone has an epic car and they just park it. And I appreciate it if that's how they enjoy it and they see it in the garage and that's how they want to enjoy their car. That's great. But for me, it's all about the drive. The day when I get an F40, it's going to be a daily driver. Like all exotic car enthusiasts and the unicorns, the F1 McLaren, if I can afford to buy that, I will be able to afford the maintenance, and I'm going to daily drive. In my office is a McLaren F1. Directly under that is the realistic unicorn, the F40. It sucks that they've gone up $1 million in the last year. And the car's got to be good to drive, though. My 91 Diablo, sure, I would have put tons of miles on it, but it was just a terrible car to drive. So that's got to be a piece of it. My concern is like an F40, I won't fit. Houston got that F40 recently, and he's joked about trying to trade me for the 4GT and some money, and I'm like, dude, I'm still in the 2-year contract and I don't want to sell a car. But I was like, I'm concerned if I can even fit and drive it comfortably. The 765 LT, I could flip and make some money. The 4GT, flip, make some money, and my wife's the one that talks the sense in me and keeps me grounded. She's like, you go make money and you're going to want to go buy more cars and have experiences. So why not just, these cars you love, keep them and create the experiences.
We'd like to thank Auto Tempest for now their 4th year of supporting VINwiki and for their ongoing support of Car Trek. Auto Tempest is the most powerful way to shop for your next car. They allow you to shop through all the major listing sites at the same time. You enter in your criteria once and it shows you everything. They even allow you to search nationally amongst Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, which you can't do on their own sites. Also, if you're looking for things that aren't cars, use their site Search Tempest. In the same way, you can nationally search for collectibles and electronics and anything else that you want to buy. It makes it a whole lot easier, and it's helped me out a whole lot. Check out the recently released Car Trek 8 and thank Auto Tempest for their ongoing support of VINwiki by looking for your next car at the link in the description below.